Welcome back to Views with Hughes, Agenda Free News. This is Jerome Hughes. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, surprise, surprise, there's trouble brewing with Disney Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy. Once again, specifically, we're going to discuss yet another troubled project under the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy. Now, the latest line of disasters is that the rumored Daisy Ridley led Ray movie approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy, which was supposed to be directed by Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy. You know, if you've been following Star Wars news in the past several years and stuff, you won't be surprised. But apparently, the New Jedi Order movie from Kathleen Kennedy is basically facing major trouble, where the rumors has it that it's on hold. Okay, now this isn't the first time we've heard rumors like this. In fact, it's at least the fourth time we heard that this film might not even happen. Now, four separate instances where a project approved by Kathleen Kennedy has been delayed, reworked, or just outright canceled. Yet Kathleen Kennedy continues to go ahead and push forward, just basically, pretending that her direction of the Star Wars universe is still on track. Now, let's break down the latest rumors about this movie that was approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy, as you all know, at the Star Wars Celebration in 2023. The source is this time that Daniel RPK, the scooper in Hollywood, according to him, the movie approved by and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy needs more work and is now on hold. Yes, on hold again. Last I've checked, I don't remember there would be in a script for it. Now, this is becoming all too familiar pattern of Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership, and if that isn't bad enough, this scooper also says the movie approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy isn't expected to start filming until 2025. Now think about that. Kathleen Kennedy, her Star Wars project, which was supposed to start Daisy Ridley, may not even begin shooting for another year or more. And this is a sad state of affairs in the Star Wars universe under Kathleen Kennedy. Now, delays, more delays, and then some more delays. Now, if you think back in May that this shouldn't be a surprise, even World of Real reported then that the same Daisy Ridley movie approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy had already been delayed. In fact, Disney CEO Bob Iger put a pause on the project altogether at that time. So what exactly is going on here? Now, it seems like every time, we get an update on this movie approved by Kathleen Kennedy, basically it's just either being delayed, reworked, or even put on pause. And this is coming par for the course of under Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership. Now, it's also becoming more and more obvious that, Kathleen Kennedy doesn't have a solid plan for Star Wars and is starting to show, kind of like it did in Rise of Skywalker. Now, it's not just, different people making these claims either. Around the same time, you also have another insider with Empire City Box Office and on X said that the movie approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy had been killed off by none other than Bob Iger himself. Now, Bob Iger, the man who publicly said that Disney is pulling back on Star Wars, is the one making these calls. Yet Kathleen Kennedy and her team at Lucasfilm throwing these projects out there, basically pretending that they're still happening. Now, I've been sharing these rumors a lot lately when it came to Kathleen Kennedy and this whole Rey movie situation. And it's starting to seem to me like some of these rumors are actually starting to come true. Now, if you want to go ahead and check out in the playlist, the Disney playlist, where I talked about the different things involving Kathleen Kennedy and the rumors coming from the Star Wars and everything, to cover that, to see how my track record is. But keep in mind, like I said it before, some of them come out to be true, others came out to be incorrect. I'm taking full accountability on that if it's incorrect. But they're pretending that this is still happening. Now, does this sound like good leadership to you from Kathleen Kennedy? Of course not. This is a desperate attempt by Kathleen Kennedy to go ahead and just keep clinging to a franchise that is slipping away from the grip, one failure at a time. Okay? And let's also add, another layer to this big debacle. You see, there's also reports that there were numerous problems with the development of this movie approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy. And this includes a few shocking news where you have Stephen Knight, the writer for the movie, and that was approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy at the Star Wars Celebration 2023, is considering leaving the project entirely. I talked about that before as well. Now, when the writer of a major movie, Star Wars movie approved by Kathleen Kennedy, is thinking about walking away, that should be a massive red flag for everyone involved. It's not like Knight is like nobody in Hollywood. Now, this guy who has worked on high profile projects, and if he's been, thinking of bailing on Kathleen Kennedy and her latest Star Wars effort, that should tell you enough and all you need to know. Now, this is like a bit more trouble from Kathleen Kennedy as we step further. You see, Knight recently appeared at the Royal Television Society's London convention. All right. And guess what? There was no mention of Star Wars whatsoever. Not even a peep about this, supposed blockbuster project that was introduced by Kathleen Kennedy. And you know what? That particular silence speaks volumes. It tells us that even Stephen Knight, who was once tied to this movie that was approved by Kathleen Kennedy, may already have distanced himself from this project altogether. Now, it's also becoming clear that by the day that this movie, if it ever sees the light of day, is far from being a priority for anyone involved. And that's not surprising considering how Kathleen Kennedy and her track record at Lucasfilm has been going for the past few years. Now, if you think that things couldn't even get any worse at this point for this movie that was approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy, well, you won't have to think again. You see, Warner Brothers has now positioned Dune 3 to go up against this release date supposedly reserved for this Star Wars movie that was approved by Kathleen Kennedy, which is December 18, 2026. That's right, people. We're talking about 2026. That's nearly 3 years away, and yet the competition is already gearing up to crush this film if it ever manages to go ahead and make it to theaters. Now, Dune, as you all know, is a heavyweight contender in the sci-fi world and is growing into a massive franchise, while Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars brand, well, the Disney Star Wars brand, seems to be go ahead and shrinking by the day. Now, the chances that Kathleen Kennedy movie standing up against Dune 3 are slim to none. So, basically, where exactly does this lead us? Well, if you follow all the rumors, it's becoming more and more apparent that, the writing is on the wall for Ridley and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, this movie approved by and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, the movie is going to happen, at least not in the way it's being pitched to us by Kathleen Kennedy, okay, and her team. And let's be honest here. Are we really surprised at this point? This kind of scenario has played out over and over again under Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership at Lucasfilm. Now, time after time, and let's be honest here, we hear about these big projects that are supposed to breathe new life into Star Wars universe, only for them to be either delayed or indefinitely scrapped altogether. Now, it's a never-ending cycle of failure, if you ask me, and it's all happening under the watch of Kathleen Kennedy. Now, here's another point in detail. We still don't even have an official announcement about a finished script for this Rey movie that was announced and approved by Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, I've talked about that several times before through like rumors and everything. And yeah, after all these delays, all these rumored cancellations, and all the chaos, still not a completed script for this Rey movie. You can't have it. Basically, it's just another example of Kathleen Kennedy and her failure to get things moving in a timely and professional manner. Now, how long does it take to get a script together, especially when you've had like several years, year after year to work on it? Now, it's becoming harder and harder to take Kathleen Kennedy seriously as a leader when things keep happening under her guidance. And I keep getting from people in the comment section going ahead and constantly defending Kathleen Kennedy and stuff, but guess what? This can't really this can't protect Kathleen Kennedy any further, And like basically, this related rumor about the Ridley and Obaid-Chinoy movie that was approved and introduced by Kathleen Kennedy. This being on hold is just the latest in this long string of missteps under Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership. We've seen it before, and sadly, we'll probably see it again. But Kathleen Kennedy and her tenure at Lucasfilm basically has been filled with delays, failures, and more disappointment. Now, basically, it's time for Lucasfilm to take a good hard look at what's wrong, including Disney, and for Disney to recognize that pulling back on Star Wars, especially under Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership, well, may be the only way to save what's left of this particular franchise. But as long as Kathleen Kennedy remains in charge, basically, I wouldn't even hold my breath waiting for any real change. Okay, so yeah, that's where we are currently at this state. Now, if you're as frustrated with the current the current state of Star Wars as I am under Kathleen Kennedy, make sure you will go ahead and like and share, subscribe for more commentary on the entertainment industry. Now, it's important to go ahead and continue to stay informed about this whole thing with Kathleen Kennedy and her leadership, and keep holding her accountable for the constant failures that we've been, seeing over the years. But most importantly, got to go ahead and stay strong. At this point, I know we're all jaded and everything, but at the same time, this is proof that we're winning against the whole Hollywood elites, including Kathleen Kennedy. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you may have this particular topic. If you enjoyed what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, and share far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, and you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.